What's up, everybody? This is CryptoVatsik. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get started, really appreciate it if you hit that like button to support the channel. And if you do like this content, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future updates. As always, none of this is financial advice or my opinions only. Let's get right into it because we got an important market update today. Okay, well, so we'll kick it off with Bitcoin first, you guys. I know this is a busy chart, but I had shared this on my Twitter not long ago, okay? And so I had basically said that, I was looking for an area to long within that green zone, okay? And so if you don't follow me on Twitter, definitely suggest that you go and do that because you see my thoughts more frequently on my Twitter page. I'm updating it every single day. So definitely check it out. And basically what I had said is in green, I would be looking to make a long, and I had my invalidation, okay? So that long got invalidated, my stop got triggered, we made a new low, and then that was fine. So then we had our dump. And so now what I like to do is, since it's invalidated, I kind of go back to the drawing board, I reevaluate with a fresh set of eyes. And I'm just going to take my range again because that is still valid, right? So basically we had this range that I had on that previous chart, and coming down to these lows here, right? So basically we're still in that range. We did have our dump, okay? My previous trade was invalidated, got stopped out. We dumped down to 18,200 and change, okay? And then we came back up and ultimately just still playing inside of this range, right? From the range low to the range high, and now toying around with the EQ. So maybe on a higher time frame, we can take a look at what it's doing here. Let's see, go from the candles here. No, we'll take it down. We'll take it down to these wicks. Just take it from the wicks there. Okay, so we're still in this range, guys. And so though we had this crazy dump and recovery, not too much has changed from a technical standpoint. But the one key thing that I will point out is that we finally got our market structure break. So these were just lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. So that's why my trade got invalidated, because we did not hold that level on this wick that I entered on. We didn't hold that level and get that break back to reclaim this EQ. So what happened instead now is that we've obviously had our dump, which is fine, and we have not seen a buyback that strong for quite some time. Okay, during this choppy range, we hadn't seen a wick of this magnitude. Okay, the wick coming all the way down to that bottom of the range. We haven't seen that amount of buyback yet during this time back since our major low in June. Okay, so it's clearly testing this area of demand. It's seeing how much demand is down here. Okay, that's either going to be strong enough to hold this level, or eventually it's going to break and we're starting to potentially take out that liquidity. So if we want to see more upside, we need to see the demand step in here and hold that level and start to pressure some of these resistances, right? So what I mean by that is what we've just done right now. Okay, so we've had this test of the demand. We had a major buyback, almost a bullish engulfing, not quite here. Okay, however, what we did do is we ended up breaking on a higher time frame. This is a 4 hour. We ended up breaking this market structure right there. Okay, so we had lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, and then now higher high. Okay, so we've broken out of that market structure of a downtrend on a higher time frame, and now we're basically just retesting that area. Okay, and so this level is a key level to hold, in my opinion. So I'm looking at this point for longs. And if we just zoom out here to a higher time frame, let's go to the daily. The daily is the only thing that I'm going to say I don't like. I don't love these candles, how they're forming at this point. Okay, we've got a long wick to the upside on this candle, and if you just look at this from an overall perspective, this doesn't scream reversal yet, right? However, you start to see the reversals first on the lower time frames, right? So if we saw something like this where we get a bullish engulfing break in market structure, something like this is what I'm looking for, right? So bullish engulfing candle, break in market structure, and a retest of that before going up, right? That's what I want to see on a higher time frame. So that does take time to develop though, right? So we still got 4 hours between now and candle close on the candle that we're working on. Okay, so we will see. So what I'm doing now at this point is I'm going in on lower time frame and I'm looking for areas to long. So this looks half decent. We've got that market structure break. We've had a clean break of it with the retest. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going into the 15 minutes and I'm looking for that same setup, right? Which we haven't got yet, right? We're just making lower high, potentially working on a lower high, all the while just following that downtrend. So it's not convincing me yet that this is going to have a temporary reversal. So we can take our fib, sure, take a look at that. Okay, where's our 618? Somewhere down here. So, you know, potentially we could have a ways to go before we actually get that market structure break and retest, right? Something like that. So that's what I'm waiting to see. And you got to be patient with these things. You know, not just assuming on a higher time frame that this is the bottom and the reversal. Okay. All right, so let's head over to Ethereum quickly and see what we're seeing. So I had also shared this on my Twitter, you guys. And actually in my previous video, I went full in depth on this. It was just a video that I posted a couple days ago to music, but basically I went through all of this. And what I had said was I was expecting a drop from this triangle to about this area. That was the target for the drop from the triangle. We did get a break below. We did get that dump. However, we did not reach my target, right? So yeah, potentially I'm getting front run here. I was looking to get in lower, but we did have that dump. Okay, and so the idea was valid. We basically tested this previous level here. Okay, so we're just testing that demand, scooping up liquidity, and had a nice buyback similar to Bitcoin. And what are we seeing? Well, we're coming right back into this downward sloping descending channel, EQ, right here, the dotted line that's coming on a downtrend. Okay, that has been recovered. So, you know, if we want to see this push, then we want to see obviously that level hold. We want to take out this high and potentially start testing this bearish order block that we have up here from this candle on a higher time frame. Okay, and then ultimately we'd be looking for a break above this band of that overall downward descending channel. Okay, right there. So that's what we're looking for, right? And so I went through my Elliot Wave counts on this as well. We got 786 down here, which is the previous range EQ. Okay, this guy, that range there, it's the EQ, so that kind of lines up nicely. So, you know, there's lots of points of confluence in here, but it doesn't mean that it has to follow these rules, right? It can do whatever it wants. Price doesn't care about your technical analysis, right? So all we can do is, you know, analyze as traders and make a thesis and come up with, you know, stops and validations and targets as much as we can find confluence to whatever trade idea that you may have. Okay, so that's really it. You know, I suggest going back and watching this video if you want to understand all these shit lines on this chart. Honestly, you know, I know it's busy, and when you make the chart yourself, you know, everything makes sense to you, but you know, when it isn't your work, then it just looks like a bunch of busy lines, right? So I get that. So I highly suggest watching that other video if you want to understand it. But anyways, yeah, it's a good buyback. We've also, you know, we've got that market structure break. Same here on Ethereum, right? We had lower high, lower high, lower high. Okay, we made a higher high, market structure break, retest, and now we want to see this continue to push if this is going to convince me of a temporary bottom for now, right? I need to see follow through on this move to convince me that this is still bullish. Because like I said, when you come out to that daily, you know, even this candle on Ethereum's not looking great. You know, is that a hanging man there we got here, right? Huge wick, sure, but potentially a hanging man. And then now a massive wick to the upside on this other candle. So maybe this triangle target is still in play. You know, maybe we still come back down here and test this area of demand somewhere where those lows are at some point before going up at that point, right? So just be careful, have stop losses. Don't just buy just because you see some green here. When you zoom out, really, at the end of the day, not a lot has changed, right? So you just got to keep that in perspective. Yeah, and then ultimately I want to see a reclaim of this bearish order block, right? So ultimately need to reclaim this, the 50th percentile of this entire move, that key level of support that was lost. We need to regain that if we are going to push higher and start to look at taking out this high up here, okay? So those are my criteria. I think for now we're going to go back to Solana and just see. Okay. So Solana, same thing. You know, you guys, this doesn't scream reversal just yet to me. Okay, we've got a hanging man candle, okay, and then we've got now an inverted hammer potentially here. You know, I don't like that wick. I don't like what we're seeing here, right? So we need to see some reversal here on low time frame pretty soon. And it looks on lower time frame, it looks okay. You know, I had this green here because that's where I'm looking to long on Solana. Okay, so that's, I don't know, right around $29. You know, and I'm zooming in, I'm waiting. I'm not seeing it yet. I'm looking at my fib. I'm going, okay, take it from the wick. That brings us down here to the 618, or maybe you come from the candles, depending on what exchange. I noticed different exchanges have different lengths of wicks, but maybe we take it from the candle and it lines up somewhere here where we had that. The reason here is that market structure break. Okay, we had a market structure break here, and then on, I think, a higher time frame. Yeah, that's it right there. So just almost a bullish engulfing, right? Not quite, but almost a bullish engulfing candle. But really, this was our previous lower high, right? And then now we've made a new higher high. We've broken out of that market structure, that downtrend, and now I'm looking for that retest before going up. So that's the sweet spot. That's what I have my eyes on right now, and I will take that trade because I will have a clear invalidation, right? So if I can get in somewhere down here, you know, and start to ladder my buys down in this area, then obviously, you know, your stop loss is these lows, right? So, or this low, right? So that's kind of it. Another quick thing here I just want to point out as well is a common trading pattern called an over and under. So basically we've got our level of support here that we were holding above, right? And then we've got our deviation below and then a reclaim above that level again, right? So it's basically otherwise known as just those SR levels, support and resistance. However, when you get a quick sharp reaction like this where you're temporarily below and then you regain it, it shows that the demand below that level is very strong, okay? And that we're able to regain this level as support quickly. So meaning that level is now again support, and we're potentially printing that in right now at this point. You know, I wouldn't like to start trading back down here near this low too long. If we do, then potentially we get a double bottom. Okay, so with that scenario, we get a double bottom. I want to see again a very sharp reaction to convince me that this is going to have some more upside. Okay, so potentially we could get a play like that, you know, a retest of this entire wick here, a little bit deeper than expecting, making people think we're coming lower, and then a quick sharp reaction again to recover, you know, this over and under play sort of thing. Okay, so just another thing I was noticing. So that is mainly it right now until we see some more price action develop. You know, we've got to stay objective here. It's nice to see this is the first time really that we've tested this low back here in June. Okay, so that's really nice to see that we're giving it a retest. You know, we have to retest these lows in order to confirm that the demand is there and that the demand is strong enough, right? We don't want to see a sweep of these. We hadn't really seen that yet. You know, we had developed this base up here, but bear markets are known for that, right? Basically, you have a low and then it forms this base that you think is the bottom until you retest the low and then it breaks back down, right? So this is nice to see. This is a critical point that we're seeing right now, and we want to see this level hold for sure if we're going to see some relief in a rally here shortly. Stay objective, have your invalidations, use a stop loss, do your own research, okay? Make your own opinion of it. Don't follow others into a trade, okay? So that's it for today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you found this video helpful. I'll keep posting as much as I can. Please go back on my Twitter to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVatsik and subscribe to the channel if you really like this content. And we'll see you on the next one. All right, see ya.